Alright, let's talk about things that go bump in the night. Or, more accurately, things that sit at the foot of your bed and just stare. Imagine it. You wake up in the dead of night. You feel a strange pressure, a sense of being watched. Your eyes slowly adjust to the darkness and you see it. A pale, hairless figure crouched like an animal. It's humanoid, but not quite human. Its long, spindly limbs are bent at unnatural angles. And its eyes, they glow with a faint, unsettling light. This, my friends, is the rake. A creature said to haunt the remote corners of the world and, sometimes, the very foot of your bed. It's a terrifying thought, right? Something so utterly alien sharing your personal space. The stories all paint a similar, chilling picture. The rake is often described as being about 6 feet tall when standing, but it's rarely seen upright. It prefers to crawl. It prefers to crouch, moving with a disturbing, jerky speed. Its skin is a sickly gray or pale white, stretched taut over a gaunt, skeletal frame. But its most defining feature, the one that gives it its name, is its hands. At the end of its long, thin arms are fingers like claws. At the end of its long, thin arms are fingers like a rake. The legend says it can cause immense psychological trauma just by its presence, and sometimes it gets physical. What makes the rake so particularly spooky is its behavior. It isn't just a monster that jumps out and says, "Boo!" It's a creature of quiet terror. Witnesses claim it will watch people for hours, days, or even weeks. It appears at the edge of the woods, peeks through windows, or, in the most famous accounts, sits silently in a bedroom. This passive observation is almost worse than an outright attack. It builds a slow, creeping dread. The victim starts to question their sanity. Are they really seeing this thing? Or is their mind playing tricks on them? It's a masterclass in psychological horror, delivered by a creature that may or may not be real. The encounters often end in one of two ways. In some tales, the rake eventually speaks. Its voice is described as a high-pitched hiss, or a strange, chattering sound. It might say a single cryptic word, or say nothing at all before vanishing. In other, more violent accounts, the encounter escalates. The victim is attacked, left with deep scratches, or is never seen again. So, where did this nightmare fuel come from? Unlike old-school legends like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, the rake doesn't have roots in ancient folklore. Nope. This monster was born on the internet. Specifically, it crawled out of the primordial soup of 4chan's Be board. Back in 2005, an anonymous user started a thread titled, "Let's make a new monster." The goal was simple: collaboratively create a brand new creature to scare people. Users added appearance, habits, and even the name. The rake was crowdsourced horror. Users began weaving a fictional history, inventing centuries of encounters. One influential post collected fabricated documents: a mariner's log from 1691, a suicide note from 1880, and a 1960s witness account. All described a strange, pale creature. These fakes gave the rake history and legitimacy. The internet built a monster and its mythology at once. The most famous piece of lore is the A New York account story, posted in 2006. Written in first person, a couple wakes to the rake at the foot of their bed. Then it attacks their daughter, and finally whispers to the dying girl before retreating into the woods. The tale became the cornerstone of the legend. Now we get to the fun part: the proof. As the rake's popularity exploded, people came forward with what they claimed was evidence. The most famous visual is a grainy, overexposed photo, pale, hairless, crouched in an inhuman way, eyes glowing in the camera's flash. For believers, this matched the legend and was just blurry enough to be mysterious. It became the default image of the rake online. Then came the videos, a trail cam clip with a pale, lanky figure darting past, fast, out of focus. Is it the rake, a deer in motion blur, or someone in a costume pulling a prank? Another clip shows a creature peeking around a house corner. Terrible quality, like a potato from 2003. Eyewitness accounts followed. Driving. A pale figure darts into the woods. Camping. Strange chittering outside the tent. Waking to find it in the room. Spooky, yes, but often lacking verifiable details or witnesses. usually a friend of a friend or anonymous poster. All of it exists in a feedback loop. Original stories set the template, and hoaxes or mistakes get forced to fit. A blurry deer becomes the rake. A strange noise becomes the rake's hiss. The legend provides the framework. Imagination or clout chasing fills the blanks. A self-perpetuating myth machine. So let's put on our skeptic hats, which for me is just my regular hat. It's time to take a hard look at the evidence. The famous photograph, the rake's unofficial headshot? It's been thoroughly debunked. There are a couple of theories about its origin. One compelling argument, a manipulated image from a series featuring a Silent Hill character. Another, an unrelated viral marketing stunt. Either way, it was digitally altered, not a candid cryptid. It's art or a prank, depending on how you look at it. What about those historical documents? The mariner's log from 1691, the suicide note. All of it were written and posted on 4chan in 2005-2006. Complete fabrications, full of modern anachronisms and phrasing slips. No historian has found any legitimate mention of the rake. Clever mythology, but mythology nonetheless. Almost every piece of footage is a hoax, misidentification, or too low quality to matter. Trail cams could be a person, an animal, or a digital glitch. Without a clear image, it's worthless as proof. Many videos are deliberate hoaxes, costumes, and clever editing for views. If the evidence is fake and the origin is fabricated, why is the rake so popular? Humans are storytellers. The internet is our digital campfire. The rake is a modern folktale tapping primal fears. The dark, the unknown, the predator. It's the boogeyman for the 21st century. Its design lives in the uncanny valley. Almost human, just wrong. Pale skin, long claws, unnatural movements. A quiet perversion of the human form. A monster in your room is scarier than one in a distant cave. Born from a community project, the legend is collaborative. People feel ownership. Sharing or creating pulls you into the club. In a mundane world, a good mystery excites. The possibility of monsters restores a little dark magic. The legend thrives on ambiguity. Blurry images and vague accounts let imagination run. The best horror shows the monster sparingly. The rake uses the same trick. Enough to scare, not enough to feel safe. Uncertainty is fertile ground for belief, even against evidence. It stands with Slender Man, pioneering collaborative, interactive horror. Start with a creepy image, write an eyewitness account, invent lore. Let the internet do the rest. Countless online monsters owe a debt. So, after all that, is the rake real? The answer, a pretty resounding no. The story was openly created on an internet forum in 2005. The historical accounts are confirmed fabrications. The photographic and video evidence has been debunked or misidentified. No bodies, no DNA, no clear photos, no confirmed attacks beyond other explanations. Not one shred of credible physical proof. It's a ghost story, an exceptionally good one. Knowing it's fake doesn't erase the fear. It taps deep fears. The dark, being watched, the uncanny. A triumph of collaborative fiction, modern folklore. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to make sure my bedroom door is locked. Soft, just in case.